Hello, everyone. I'd like to welcome you to the Wise Woman Rising program, a 4-week journey to reclaim your body's wisdom, honor your story, and rise in your power. This is a transformational space to reconnect with your hormones, your cycles, and your inner power. I'm Dr. Tiffany Keenan, and I'm so glad that you're here. Today, I'm honored to be joined by wise woman Jennifer Mitchell, who will be sharing her pieces of her story, her challenges, her insights, and the wisdom that's carried her forward. These conversations are part of a greater movement, reminding us that healing isn't linear and that through sharing, we rise together. Jennifer, thank you so much for being here. How are you feeling as we begin today?
I'm nervous and probably vulnerable, which is a big word for me.
Well, Jennifer and I have known each other for a couple of years, quite a few years now.
Yeah.
So she's a wise woman I wanted to tap into. So, Jennifer, please share some of your knowledge and stories with us.
Okay, I'm going to jump right in. And basically, I've narrowed things down to three truths or three wisdoms that have either carried me forward throughout life and or they are I'm basking in them now. I'm really enjoying them and they're really working in my life. And they basically are balance is one. The second one would be acceptance, and the third one would be time. So when we look at separately, and I look at balance, for me, it's wholeness, resilience, wellness, and I'm very visual. I need to think in pictures, and I needed a picture going back about 35 years ago. I would say I started into self-help, self-healing. It wasn't really cool then. We almost had to be literally in back rooms, places. There was a group of women, and I was very blessed to be invited on the journey. And I needed to grasp something visually. So I came up with a three-legged stool, and one leg being our physical, which is what Tiffany talks about, and more. And we were talking about our hormones and our physical well-being. And then we have mental, intellectual, we have emotional and spiritual. So like a stool, any one of those legs, when they are not the same length as the other, the stool will tip and it will not function as it's intended. And I really believe that's how my life has run. And one of the things it takes uh, some curiosity to look at, why is it that we're out of balance? Why is it that we're leaning one way or the other? Uh, and it comes down to, for me, is knowledge. You have to be curious. You have to have self-efficacy. You have to drive the ship, and you have to be self-motivated, because believe me, no one is going to come and give you all that you need for you. You can be given information, but is it really necessary for you? And that's what it comes down to. I know, Tiffany, you've mentioned before, is know thyself. However, I find that knowledge is empowering because we learn what questions are important to ask and to whom we ask those. If I can say anything about health in terms of, and our wellness, in terms of mental health, in terms of emotional well-being, our spirituality, we have to understand what are the right questions. Because, and guess what, you're allowed to go back and ask when you learn those right questions. So never think that you missed your opportunity. So if I can leave, that's huge for balance. What are the questions? Who do you ask? And knowledge is accumulative. It's like someone said to me once, death is by 1,000 cuts. Well, knowledge on the positive side is by 1,000 questions, and healing is by 1,000 hugs, 1,000 tears, 1,000 whatever. But those questions are really, really important. The second one, when we go back to acceptance, I know, Tiffany, you and I had an opportunity. You have led a group where we heal through the heart. And one of the concepts that came out of that is intentions. And for me, it really interprets into prayers. I pray every day. It's if I wake up and can't sleep, my mind seems to revert to prayer. And one of the intentions that just keeps coming back and coming back is an overabundance. And this is what I say, is like my intention, my prayers for an overabundance of unconditional acceptance of me and for others. We sometimes put expectations, like people put expectations on us, we put them on others. And with that, you'll get compassion. And I'm in the midst of really working on that. And it has been, um, uh, it's been very beneficial, to say the least, for myself, for my relationships. And this is where you get outside yourself. That three-legged stool has to function with an environment. It has to be in a society, it has to be in community. And how do I fit in? How does that three-legged stool fit into the society or not? Okay, or not. And that is an area for me in my own acceptance, is that I'm very unorthodox. I had a student that messages me all the time, and he agrees, yes, I'm very unorthodox. And uh, I crashed and burned like big time. I've done crashing and burning before, but this was total elimination. And I withdrew. I totally brought everything back to the core and for myself. And I am now, after 6 years of the wholeness, the resilience, the wellness, all that I know that Natalie Morse spoke about today, about a regulated nervous system, stable blood sugar, all those items I'm taking now with me. This is how I show up. This is how if you want to ask me how I feel, be prepared, because if you don't like the answer, you're the one asked. And I don't always give the pat answer, right? And so again, the all those parts of our resilience, of our balance, of our wellness is what I bring to the table as I move forward. And I'm doing it very gradually with my own boundaries, with what honors me, my authentic self. And a lot of that, I know that we give lip service to it, but I find that now it is actually being internalized. And it's a huge difference. And I don't know if that's just because I've practiced it. I don't know if it's because I find I have growth wherever it's coming from. It could be coming from the healing through the heart that we've done. It could be coming from prayer. Wherever it's coming from, it's great. It's really feeling good. It's feeling comfortable. I'm feeling whole, more whole. And so my recovery has started a lot of years, but a lot of really hard work and hardcore work I've done in the last 6 years. But finally, in terms of the three truths that lately is just bringing me a tremendous amount of joy, and is the concept of now. We talk about mindfulness. Now, go back about 6 years ago, and people, when I was trying to get back on my feet and move forward or just get up, is people are like, well, you have to practice mindfulness, you have to think about now, and you have to breathe and focus on your breath, and your brain will, it's your brain's like a room of chattering monkeys, they're going to go all over the place. And of course, I always want to do everything perfect. And but now I have learned, it took me a long time, is that now is important, and mindfulness is great. And in fact, I was so busy avoiding the past and skipping over now that I went and lived in the future. That's how I was living my life, always into the future. So now I had to back up, get into now so I could go back. Past is important. The past is really important. I had to learn to come to terms with it. I had to learn to embrace parts of it. And that's where your memories are. That's where so by avoiding my past, I was avoiding some of the joy, the love, the relationships that are no longer here. And, but here's the kicker. And this is what I have, like, lately, is given me just so much peace, so much joy, is that I don't have to live there. I don't live in the past. And I'm going to out myself of therapy. There's the T word that everyone's frightened of, is I have learned that it's the negative memories I have the right, I have the ability to remove myself from that. That part is still very, very important, whether it be the child, whether it be the teenager, whether it be, uh, I don't know, the young adult, whatever it is, that part, I can take them out of that memory in the past and bring them into the present. Because my present, I've created a beautiful life, not perfect, but a very lovely place where I live in the now that I don't need a vacation from. um, I don't know how to describe it anything else other than I don't need a vacation from my life. I don't know about other people, but one of the things is I take those parts out of the past because I revisit them and I find these parts and I bring them into the safety that I have today, the joy, the peace, the support. But it's taken me years. Like, this doesn't happen overnight. And so I don't live in the past. And the other part of time, and then when we're talking about the past, present, future, is that there is a time and place for everything. And now there's an expression people throw around, but what does it really look like? And for me, it's like seasons. And I was telling you, Tiffany, that I had a 45-year high school reunion. And one of the things is that I learned is that and you go back to Ecclesiastes, it's for everything there's a season and a time for every matter under heaven. It's like that verse. And then, but there's also more people might be familiar with the song by the Birds, "Turn, Turn, Turn." And that was actually written by Bob Seger, and he does not get a lot of credit. And interestingly, he was a man of faith, and it was just a beautiful song, and it's actually based in scripture. And but by understanding that I have a season and there's a season and things are changing just like our normal seasons change now. And so when you take those, the balance, the acceptance, the time, things for me, for my wellness, my health, my growth, I realize that those are all very dynamic and they're non-linear. I know you mentioned that, Tiffany. They're non-static. Whether you like it or not, life's going to move on. It's now never, nothing's going to stand still for you. And we are very complex as individuals. Um, and whether it be our health in terms of our physical health, in I know for women, for hormones, for sleep, I've gone through a lot of these the last 6 years, and I have to say that my life has really changed, and that seems to be bringing peace to me. The change we're going through a really big change we're in our home, and we have decided that we're into a different season of our life, and this home no longer suits us because we have changed as people. The home is gorgeous. If anyone's looking to buy, it's beautiful. It's on the river. I have 4 kayaks that go with it. Anyway, this is but anyway, but the more we pray, the more we have intentions for our own acceptance, the more I can help other people because I have other people in my life that aren't dealing with this idea of change of address, physical address, as easily as I am. And I feel like I'm that self-efficacy. I'm the one leading the troops. I'm the one, but I'm not, for the first time in my life, I'm not being as aggressive as I could be doing it. And I have more compassion and more love and and tolerance for other people in that process. And it is a process. And one thing that Natalie said today, and I thought, oh, she nailed it. And it was, life is an endurance sport. I just loved that when she said that. And it was like, yeah, I swim. And no matter what size I am, I don't care anymore. I get in the pool. And if anyone has a problem with that, well, then don't get in the pool with me. so, but I am more of an endurance swimmer, and I can get in and swim 40 lengths. But you can't just get in and do that without taking time to learn about your breath and your muscle, and you're eating protein, and you have enough testosterone? Do you have enough progesterone? Did you sleep the night before? If I didn't sleep the night before, I'm going to be a grumpy swimmer. I might as well stretch instead of swim. So all those go into the endurance part of it. It's all the planning. It's not, you can't do the tour de force on a bicycle unless you've planned and worked and you have knowledge, and so it's a daily process, and it's a commitment to yourself, and that's maturity. I've learned that once I have started to commit to me, that has showed maturity in myself, and and that's, as you grow in life doesn't mean you mature. There's a big difference. And then I have learned that the commitment to myself and to honor myself and respect myself. I don't do it all the time. That's it.
Well, Jennifer, thank you so much for sharing. You know, you have a life of experience. And some of the things that stood out for me, like when you speak about balance, it's this embracing of wholeness. And I think as women, this is one of the things that we begin, that we don't have to do it all alone, that we can be connected to a larger community and that we can feel whole. When you said that healing is by 1,000 hugs, I think this has to be a new tagline.
Yeah.
For us as well. And then when it comes to acceptance, when you really spoke about self-acceptance, because I see that as women, as we transition, again, as we go through a different season in our life, this looking at ourselves for who we are, embracing our authenticity, how we look, how we are, how our personality is. It's like the true me really starts to come out, and honoring that, like that, there's an honor in knowing who we are. And then when you spoke about time, really that you've kind of come to this moment that you don't need a vacation from life, because you've been able to create this sense of happiness and joy within yourself. And, you know, at your age of getting a little over 60, you're not looking for that external rewards, but you found safety and comfort within yourself. And I think that's the key that we all want to get to, that space, that be here now, living in this moment, embracing the joy of the everyday.
Yeah, that's right.
Thank you so much, Jennifer. So wonderful to have you here. And I look forward to having those join us, and hopefully women will be inspired, because when we get together, we begin to share on this program that's going to be launched on August 6th. These are the sorts of things that we're going to be able to lift each other up when we're together, because we are more powerful when we're in harmony, and we can feel the love within our circles of care.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
Thanks a lot, Jennifer. You have a wonderful day. Bye.
Thanks, Tiffany. Bye.